what's up? Today I'm gonna show you how I'm making the story of my new album and live show come alive. I'm gonna talk you through the process of starting with a basic idea of a story all the way up to the final product with the scenes and everything and with all the visuals implemented. First thing I started with was the basic idea for the story, and it was a sci-fi story that I had in my mind. With me, of course, as the main protagonist, the main character. And I just wanted to do a sci-fi story because that genre is something I really like watching. So I started working out the main storyline, worked on all the characters, the happenings in the story. So I knew which song needed to have what kind of feeling so it would fit with the visuals. So I did, like, for every track I had like 3 or 4 scenes, and all those scenes have a specific place in the story. So when I wrote all the things down, I wrote everything the first time I ever wrote something down for my music. I wrote down, now this song, like for instance Heroic, needs to tell the beginning of the story, and this is the scene that I want in the first break, this is the scene I want in the second break, and so on and so on. And so the whole story took place more and more, and that way I knew last year what I needed to make for which track. So for instance, if you have a track like Victory for You, the track that you hear in the trailer, it's a really powerful track because the visual in the story will like really show the power of the humans against the opposing threat that's coming to Earth. So after that, I contacted a few painters. After looking around on Fiverr, I came across a girl named Boukje. She's a great talented painter, and she makes digital paintings. So I told her about the story, and she really knew from the beginning what I wanted. So she had a really cool art style, which I really loved. And so I just sent her all the different scenes, and then we got to this first. She first sent me the sketches. So this is a sketch that I got for a scene, which will be like in the middle of the story. So you can see some robots in the front. You can see like a church or some sort in the middle. And that's basically what the sketch looked. So it was, for me, the sketch phase was more to give feedback on the composition. So I'm not looking at the details, not looking at the colors, because there are no colors in the sketch. It's really important that the painter knows the direction I want with a scene. So the composition, like the viewpoint from the camera, so to say, it needs to really be like how I imagined it. And this way we can like tackle problems on a composition front like really early. So then I sent her the feedback, like little things like what I imagined it have as well. And then she went on making the whole painting. So this is the painting how I received it from Boukje a few weeks later. So as you can see, it has much more color, it's much more detailed, and it's a really unique look. I have to say, we have done some feedback in the process, so it didn't get here like at first glance. That took a few feedback sessions. So then the most important part, which you can see like here on the right, I asked her to layer it up. This whole thing is layered in different parts. So you have the background, the robots, the glow of the robots, more robots, lasers, and the foreground. And it's important in the animation, which I'm gonna show you now, because I want this not to be static in my show. I want to have some animation going, not too much, because I don't want it to lead the focus away from the music, because the music is still the most important part. I'm gonna show you now how I did the animations for it. Let's go to After Effects, where we can see how I did the animation for this track. Scene, of course, not track. So we're here in Adobe After Effects. As you can see, this is the same picture with all the layers. So the first thing I always do is add an anamorphic crop. It's like the typical Hollywood crop. It's basically to give me more room to do animations with the camera angle, because if I wouldn't do it and I would do some camera work, you would see like it going into the transparency, and we don't want that. So with this, I have much more room to work in the animation, so to say. As I've showed you briefly, the first thing I'm gonna do always is make a cool camera animation. So it's like we're moving through the picture, so you like really have a feeling that you're in the picture. So I did an animation in the camera, and you can see we're getting to the church, so to say. Next up, I took all those little robots and I made them like channels of their own, so they really like behave. I can animate them individually. So that's what you see when I scroll through the timeline. You can see some are walking, some are still steady. Next up, I added some smoke, so you get a little bit of more, a little more immersion in it. The smoke is like a plug-in like the S-Clouds plugin from Sapphire. Next up, I added some lasers, so it's like really more like immersion again. Looks more cooler, looks more impressive, I'd say. Those lasers move a little bit, but not too much. And the next more important thing is to make everything, all the scenes like fit together. I did some color correction, like pretty heavily on this one. Much darker, like darker feel that I wanted for this scene. Next up, I'm gonna show you how it will look the end product. So this is the end product of this scene. So as you can see, lots of little movements, but when you combine it with the music, it will get a whole different kind of powerful feeling. So yeah, that's how one of the scenes of the story is coming to life. And I can't wait to share you all the other scenes and the whole story for the new show. So really hoping you're looking forward as much as I am. So see you next week. We'll be back with a new video. Take care. Bye bye.